Coming to you live from the Elliott Avenue Studios. This is The Barbershop. Brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail, the official auto detail provider of the Seattle Seahawks. And by the Trufant Family Foundation, an organization aimed at improving the community one kid at a time. With Marcus Trufant, here's T. Holla.
What up, what up, what up, what up? It's The Barbershop. My name is Terry Holloman, T. Holla. I'm here with my man,
Mr. Marcus Trufant. What up, y'all? What up?
and we appreciate you guys for joining us here. Same place, same time, every single week. Tonight we got a hell of a show lined up for you guys. Even though it is the dead time in sports, not a lot of stuff's going on right now. There's no NFL, no NBA. The baseball team here in Seattle is whack. So what are we doing out there? What is everybody doing out there to fill their time? What's happening? Is there anything on TV you watch? We're going to talk about that. Also, there's a controversy with a word right now in professional sports. What word is that? Stay tuned and you're going to find out. Also, last week, the NBA draft took place, and there's a guy that was drafted number one, True, that they are saying he will change the game. He will have a big impact on the game, but there are also some naysayers. We're going to definitely talk about that. And we're also going to dig into exactly how young these guys are, True. And I don't know how else is out there feeling kind of old, but we're going to find out who out there feels old like me. But in the meantime, in between time, we are back at it again. Thank you for joining us. If you haven't followed us yet on Twitter, you can find us at Barbershop Show _ on Twitter and Barbershop Show on Instagram as well.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Lots of places you can find us. And, of course, always right here on the iHeartRadio app. True, man. 7 days since we were last in here, man. How you been?
Been good, man. Been good. Been busy as always. I know off air, I know we was talking about all these kids. We got 9 kids between us.
A plethora
of kids. So I'm talking about new schedule change. I was late today, so I apologize for that, T. Holla.
But they don't even know. The people you have to tell on yourself, man. The people out there never
man,
knew.
it's crazy. Different activities, different things. I got a bunch of cheerleaders and dancers, and I was at a showcase this weekend. That was Saturday and Sunday. So
In Seattle? In this area?
in this area, man. So it don't stop, won't stop. I'm a dedicated cheer dad, and the dad, that's holding up the camera when you're not supposed to be taking video, and they got to speak over the loudspeaker. I'm that dad.
Do you know the routines? Tell the truth now.
I
You
know a little bit.
Few of the steps, like if you had to get up there and do it.
I think I know them about my kids and my wife. They hate, of course, but I can shake a leg a little bit.
You can shake a tail feather?
I do a little bit, but it's been crazy, man. Crazy busy, but it's good, man. It's always good to be back in the studio.
Yeah, it is. But that goes into, it ties hand in hand with one of the things I wanted to talk to you about tonight is, we are now at the dead time when it comes to sports, or people who like the kind of sports that we like anyways. The NBA is finished now. They just had the draft last week. The finals ended the week before that, so there's no more NBA. Obviously, there's no college football. We have to wait. I think it's like another 10 weeks for college football, man. In NFL, done for now. We won't see them until August. So, and then you have to look at the baseball team that's here in Seattle, the Mariners. They haven't been good in like 6, 7, 18 years. At least. It's been a while. Man.
Who do we talk to figure out why, though? What's the thing, the Achilles heel of the
there we go
of the Mariners? What is it? I don't know. I don't know
enough.
Deep into baseball like that, but what is it?
I don't know enough to tell you. I feel like every single year they're into this rebuilding phase, and I know like
you can't be rebuilding every day.
That's what the story is.
That's just like the building fund at the church.
At the church, every week it's the building fund.
Man, and ain't nothing getting fixed though.
Not a damn thing getting fixed. Yeah, I think that's the deal with the Mariners. A couple of years ago, they put together what everybody thought would be an all-star cast, and it didn't work out. Obviously did not work out, and they sent everybody packing, and they got a bunch of young guys out there now, apparently, that are really just trying to cut their teeth and make their mark and see who's going to fit. But I think it really starts from the top down, man, like from management all the way down. And I think they just need to get some new blood in there, at the top. like some people that have a different vision, a different plan for this team, and maybe some things will change. But it's like I've said, it's been 18 years, 19 years since they've been really in the mix.
That's crazy. Yeah. But it's crazy because they show flashes, or maybe us in this area, we're kind of, clinging on to anything we can get. So I hear it on radio, I see it on TV. Oh, the Mariners are going through this, this time where they're balling and they doing their thing, but it's so many games and it just always seems to
fall to
fizzle.
It fizzles out.
Fizzle, right?
But that's the point. That's kind of where I wanted to go with you. And you talked about, you have a busy schedule. With the cheerleading and doing that type of thing. I'm busy with my daughters playing AAU basketball. But what do you do, like as a sports fan, especially in Seattle right now, when there's no basketball? We don't have a basketball team to begin with. But even if you liked basketball from other markets, there's nothing to watch. There's no college basketball, no college football. There's no hockey, if that's your deal. I mean, there's nothing as far as sports for you to get involved in. What do we do? I mean, when we sit down on the couch, I mean, you obviously have things to get involved with, but What do you do? We want to sit back on the couch and watch TV and, pop your popcorn and there's nothing to do.
You know what I've been thinking about doing, and I've been thinking about doing this for years. I got a gift a couple of years ago, and it's a bass guitar.
Uh-oh.
And for those
you slapping the bass?
Those who know my father, Lloyd Chill, Chilly Willie Trufant, a.k.a. Papa Chill, man, I've been thinking about getting some lessons. So this, I got some downtime now, ain't no sports on. I'm searching through the TV, can't find nothing to watch. So I might take this time to.
So wait, first and foremost, do you have a guitar?
Yes, it's collecting dust.
How
been
long,
in my office for a couple years.
First of all, why do you have a guitar? Let's start there. Why
clarify bass guitar?
A bass guitar.
Right.
Why do you have a bass guitar to start with?
Because because my dad plays. I want to. Father son group. Chill and true, true and chill.
Hell no!
And we go from casino to casino.
Making your mark, making your bread.
Hey, so man, it's just a thing, man. I've always enjoyed the bass guitar, and of course, my dad used to play it around the house when I was a young man, so it's always stayed with me.
Yeah,
but I can never quite, sit there long enough with him to learn how to play it.
I would imagine
I got it in my office though. I got it.
At least you started.
That's the first step.
So you got the guitar.
That's the first step.
You got the coupon for the lessons. Now you got to go take the lessons, man.
No,
slapping the bass, man.
I got all the mannerisms. I got the faces. I got everything I'm gonna do, but I just don't know how to do it yet, man.
Hey, that's a good one, man. I mean, listen, we want to stay in tune with Marcus Trufant and his bass lessons. So you put the pressure on you right now. You put the pressure on yourself tonight. You just told thousands of people that you're going to figure out how to play the bass guitar. So that's next for you this summer. I want to hear some jamming this come fall, man.
That stank, man. That P-Funk. Wrong song, T.
I'm sorry. That's like the porn song, ain't it? Yeah, and then I also saw that you also got the this past weekend your youth football organization did some pretty good stuff, didn't it?
Yeah, man. Northwest Cougars down in T-Town, man. We've been we just started out as a youth program, but we've morphed into doing some of the 7-on-7 stuff, man. That's really popular. Huge. So our younger kids have actually been doing it. I know it's really big with the high school kids, but we want to start early and get some of our younger kids, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th graders to move around and do that, man. And a group of kids, they went out there and run the championship, man.
Oh, is that
run the championship, man. I think this is the second time, and they do it every couple weekends. So
the Northwest Cougars, huh?
Northwest Cougars down in Tacoma. Sign-ups are open. Northwest Cougars. Hey, go Cougars. Go Cougars. I like it.
Yeah, I don't have anything like that. So what I'm looking for really right now is someone to tell me like what's going on like Netflix or on HBO or something like that. I mean, I know we spent a lot of time, pretty much everybody in the country this past year watching the final season of Game of Thrones, and even that's over. we don't have that to talk about and discuss and sit back and watch every weekend. So now we're looking for new stuff to watch out there. True, you got a new show you watching?
You know what I just watched on Netflix? You heard of what was it? A Russian Doll is what it was called.
No. Russian Doll.
Yeah,
kind of like I don't
crazy,
know if I want to watch that.
Different, funny, all at the same time. You remember what was the redhead chick's name from Orange Is the New Black?
I never watched that show too
really?
much. No, I watched like one episode of it.
You need to watch that then, bro.
I know. I got to catch up. It's not still on live, is it? They still got new episodes?
Orange Is the New Black?
Yeah.
I think you go to Netflix.
Canceled?
No.
I'm just saying, like, is it continuing or are they
done?
Yeah.
I think they done had like 3, 4, 5.
That's what I know. They had lots of seasons.
So,
yeah.
Yep. Nikki from Orange Is the New Black.
Okay.
That's what it is. And this Russian Doll, how this show is laid out is that every day she wakes up and she dies.
What?
Every day.
What?
Every day. She wakes up and it's the same thing. She goes through the same thing, and little by little it goes a little further and further into her day. And she's, at this party, it's like her birthday party or something. She's there every day. People are saying the same thing to her every day. She wakes up and she's kind of like she's this person that's kind of stuck on herself, and that's the moral of this thing. I guess she has to go through and make a change in order for her to get out of this thing.
Death loop?
Yeah.
She's in the death loop she's trying to get out of?
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. I don't want to give it away for you, but I think you should check that out. I think you should make note of that and start that tonight.
I just did take note of that because, I actually have a show that I started watching. It's not on Netflix. It's on Amazon.
Okay.
And so a long time ago, my boy said, you got to start watching this show, T. Animal Kingdom. It's off the chain.
Heard of that one.
So that's one. So listen, when he says Animal Kingdom, I'm like, bro, that's like, am I going to watch like the wildebeest and gazelles and all that kind of, you know what I'm saying? Is that No, true. This show, Animal Kingdom, it's about this family in like Oceanside, California. Suburban, Oceanside, classic suburban white boys, right? Long hair. Two of them got, long hair, surfer, wild, party, dudes, right?
Right.
And another one's kind of a little older, a little more straight-laced, but just cuckoo. And these dudes are wild. So first of all, they're criminals. They're criminals. They rob shit. Like outlandish stuff. Like they'll rob the drug dealer. They'll rob the armored car. But they'll do it in some crazy kind of way on like dirt bikes or surfboards, or like they'll rob a boat on, like they'll come out on the jet skis and they party hard, and their mama is the ringleader. She send them out on these missions, man.
I might have seen a preview for this, I feel like.
Yes. So without, I started watching it, and then
what's it called again, T?
Animal Kingdom.
Okay, yeah.
Amazon Prime. So at the end of the day, man, like I said, I'm sitting there on the couch now, like I'm in season 3, and I'm going to sleep, figuring out ways that I could, snort some cocaine and rob an armored truck and get away on a parachute. You know what I'm talking about?
Go kids.
But so that's a good show, man. But I'm at the point now where I've caught up. They're in the regular season now, so I can only watch one at a time rather than watching 4, 5, 6 episodes at a time. So I'm looking for another one, man. So the one you said, Russian
doll,
baby doll, yeah. I'm gonna watch.
I got one more for you too. I'm not even gonna give it away because it's so off, it's so different. I just really want you to be caught off guard. You got to go watch Black Mirror.
Oh Lord! So listen, I've seen a single episode of that.
Okay,
and it was off the chain.
Yeah.
And the only reason that I had to stop watching it is because I watch these shows with my wife, and she doesn't understand English accents, and there's a lot of the bloody English, right?
Do that again.
Top of the morning to you, bloody English, right? I sound like I could. See, this kind of makes me want to get into my Idris Elba. Like I think I could pull that off, man. My Idris Elba.
I can see
the women would kind of hey.
I can see you too. I can see it now.
Watch your Black Mirror. No, but yeah, that's a dope show. But it's kind of creepy. It'll scare the dog shit out of you if you're not ready for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you already got the look on your face like you.
I just think it's weird, man. It's off a little bit. Kind of. I mean, some of the episodes is creepy, but each episode it changes into something totally different. It's nothing the same on that. So yeah, after you watch that first one, you got to watch the next one.
Okay. I'm gonna dig into it. I'm gonna translate for her as we watch it. I'm gonna be like, the block of the type.
Dig deep.
Yeah. Explain it to it. Yeah. So we are looking for what you guys are watching out there. What are you guys doing to pass your time during this dead time where there's no NFL, no NBA, no hockey? Every now and again you might be able to catch some golf, right? But who's watching that?
A lot of people.
A lot of people, but not me. Yeah. So let us know what you guys are doing to spend your time during this summer months, other than getting outside, hiking,
barbecuing,
going on walks in the park. Outside of that, what are you doing to spend your time? Drinking. See, I didn't want to go there with you, man. I've been drinking. Oh, true. There's something that I heard about just in the last couple of days. And I kind of want to get your opinion on it. I want to get the people out there's opinion on it as well. There's a controversy with this particular word when it comes to professional sports, and in particular basketball and the NBA. And that word is ownership. Not really even ownership, but the word owner. There's been a problem with some of the players, between some of the players and some of the organizations with the word owner. And we're talking about the person who actually owns the franchise or the group of people who own the franchise, where they have been trying to eliminate that word. According to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, he says that teams across the league are moving away from classifying these executives as owners. And he goes on to say that he doesn't want to overreact to the term because, as he said earlier, people end up twisting themselves in the knots, avoiding the use of the word. But we've moved away from that word several years ago at the league. And we now call our team owners governor of the team and alternate governor. So here's where all this comes from, and here's where it stems from. And I've heard a lot of critics and a lot of sports radio people talking about this and journalists talking about this, going back and forth. The issue comes with the number of black athletes that are out there in these professional sports, and having someone that's called an owner really overseeing everything about you. And it harkens back to the days and times of slavery when they said you were owned, that you had an owner, you had a master.
Yeah.
And so now they're really trying to be extra cautious and not offend anybody. And then instead of calling these people owners, calling them governors. So what do you think about this whole controversy? What do you think about the term owner, having an owner, and all that stuff?
For me, T, it's kind of, I kind of straddle the fence. You know how I don't like to do that. I don't like to do that, but I'm usually the guy that's advocating for or against being so, I guess just being so soft. You know, everybody gets offended by everything nowadays. You can't say anything, you can't make a joke, you can't do this, you can't do that because somebody's going to get offended, and you know it's going to ruin their lives, and that's just how it is nowadays. Yes. But I can understand this. I can definitely understand this ownership, and especially when you talk about situations when you got a guy like Kyle Lowry that falls into the crowd and he comes in contact with the governor. And
one of the alternate governors, one of the minority governor.
Yes. And how it came off to me is kind of under the influence, whatever he was doing, but you know, I'm better than you. I'm above you. You're out here and you're doing this because I allow you to. It kind of had that energy about it, so I can definitely see where they would want to do away with the term. And then you got the guy from the Clippers a couple years ago that's saying all this foolishness about saying the black people
and calling Magic an N-word and
all types of stuff
on the undercover tape. Yeah,
and the lady, it was this lady that had the phone tapped, right?
Sterling Brown. Sterling, whatever his name was.
There's probably a lot more that we as fans and we as people, you know, that's in the media don't hear about. So to do away with it, I'm for it. I get it. It doesn't mean it's going to change anything, but I think it's a step in the right direction. And I guess we're going to humor us, as the black athletes. But, a lot more needs to be done. But, I'll take it.
I called him Sterling Brown. His name is not Sterling Brown. Sterling Brown was the guy that got beat up by the cops. But it's Donald Sterling that owned the Clippers and had some colorful things to say about his black athletes and black people in general. I will say this. I do agree that to a certain extent we are getting too PC here in America. I mean, I guess if you are the owner of the team, why can't they call you the owner of the team? I mean, if you own a restaurant or you own a bar or you own this radio station that we're in, you call that person the owner, right?
Right.
So in the instance of a team, I think you should be able to say that XYZ owns this team. XYZ in this group are the owners of this team. I don't think you necessarily own that person per se. You don't own that athlete. You may own their contract, and you could do with them whatever it is that you pleased at a certain point, as far as trading them or making a deal for them or offering them more or less money. But that doesn't make you the owner of that person per se. So there's where I stand on that. On the flip side of that, and just this past week, something I listened to that hit me harder than basically anything I've ever heard or known about our history when it comes to slavery and civil rights and all that stuff. Like, I've seen the documentaries.
Right.
I've seen them all. I've seen the roots.
Right.
I've heard the stories, okay? But I actually got an opportunity. I went back into the archives and I watched a special that actually had real slaves talking. They had a recording that was digitally enhanced, and it went back to the 30s, and it had some people who were born into slavery and lived through slavery, and just to hear their actual voices talk about their experiences as slaves, it really struck an entirely different chord with me, because I got to hear them talk about how they couldn't move around without their master. And they said those words yeah, my master would give me a note and I could go across the street, and then I'd have to get a note from the master there and to get
my owner.
Yeah. And so to me, that, I mean, to hear that, to talk about how casually they just accepted that was the norm, that really put me in, I was pissed off for a little while. I didn't want to deal with people. But to know that that's the history of African Americans in this country, and to know that sometimes certain words can bring that back, I can understand that to a certain extent. But I think when you're talking about this in professional sports, I mean, or in this modern era, there's such a thing as ownership, and they're just owners.
Right. Well, I think you got to be careful, because if you let, certain things slide, eventually you give them an inch and they take a mile type of thing. So I can agree, and I like the fact that they're taking steps in the other direction. So I'm with it, and I know officially he is an owner. If you own a business, you are the owner of that business. But you're, like you said, you don't own the players. You don't own them. You don't own that individual. Right.
Everything that encompasses them. Yeah.
But some owners like a Jerry Jones or somebody just, while you're in the building or while you're in the game and all this kind of stuff, there's certain stuff you can say and certain stuff you can't do and all this kind of stuff. So they have a little bit of that in them, and some of that energy does sound and feel like the same type of stuff when you're talking about massa. So I get it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if this is going away anytime soon. Obviously, it's something that's hot in the NBA. I don't know if it's going to make its way over to the NFL anytime soon or any other professional sports. I just think, that everything can be taken not necessarily with a grain of salt, but I think if you don't put too much stock into it, you know what I'm saying? If you have an ownership of your team that you play for, just understand that everybody has a boss. Most people have a boss out there, and this is not somebody that owns or owns everything about you, and don't allow that entire being an athlete define who you are anyway. So they don't own your life. They just own the team that you play for. Speaking about basketball, though, last week was the NBA draft, true. Number 1 pick overall, Zion Williamson, man. And he is a guy that we've been seeing play for quite a while now. Like I've been watching the videos of this kid since he was probably like in the 8th or 9th grade. And he's just been a dominant figure. And went on to play for Duke for 1 season out of high school, became the number 1 overall draft pick, and I think everybody knew from the gate he was going to be the number 1 draft pick. But there have been some naysayers, man. Some people have come out and said that, maybe he is overrated. Maybe there's a lot of hype behind him. Maybe he's not going to live up to everything that they were expecting him to be. And they were comparing him favorably to like the likes of like even LeBron James, the type of player that he was, and the type of impact that we have on the NBA when he finally gets there. But some people don't think so. In fact, Doug Baldwin from the Seattle Seahawks, our own Dougie, my best friend Doug, he put out a tweet right after the draft and it said, amongst other things, that Zion will be a good player, but he's severely overrated. So the question to you, True, right out the gate, I know you've seen Zion play over the years. I know you know what kind of athlete he is, what kind of player he is. Do you think he's overrated? Do you think he's hyped up?
I thought you was going to say, True, I know you know basketball.
Well, that too. I mean, we've already established that you are the field general, that you're the court general, that you're like a player coach already.
There we go. There we go.
I understand that. That's why I'm asking you.
So this is what I would say about Zion. People are comparing him to LeBron and all these other greats and what he can do. So is he overrated? No, I would say, does he have tremendous pressure on him to be something that he may not be immediately? Yes. I think he definitely has tools and he has a lot of room to grow. I would say that his game is, if he's has the right pieces around him, his team will do very well. But he's not a guy that's going to break you down individually like, a Kobe or a Allen Iverson or somebody like that. He's more of a slasher and, fast break, a bunch of dunks and stuff like that. We've all seen all the highlights, even though he has a little jump shot, but only time will tell if that's going to carry over to the big show, over to the NBA. But Zion, I think that he does have the juice, and I think he's the type of guy that's really going to put the work in and going to get that mid-range game and do things, because most teams probably out the gate are going to just going to sag on him and kind of, play him almost like a Draymond Green and and just dare him to shoot threes and stuff like that, because they know, of course, he's speedy, he's big and strong, so you don't want to open lanes and stuff like that. But I just got a feeling that he's really going to prove a lot of those naysayers wrong. I think he's going to prove Dougie wrong.
Oh, Dougie,
and he's going to show the world that he really is worthy of that first pick, and he's going to make it happen. And he's going to make the franchise that he went to, the Pelicans.
Yes, New Orleans. Shout out New
Orleans. Make them, household name. The jerseys is going to be off the charts. We're going to start seeing a lot more of their games, and I think it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. So here's what I think about Zion Williamson. So like I said, I've watched him since the highlights were floating around the internet when he was like in the 8th and 9th grade. Here's something you might not know about Zion that I just found out recently. So when he was in the 8th grade, he was 5'9", and by the time he entered the 9th grade, he was 6'3".
Why couldn't that happen to me,
bro? I'm still waiting on mine.
Come on,
I'm still waiting on mine. Have you ever seen somebody in their mid-40s just jump like 5-6 inches in height?
Well, it's still a chance.
I might be the first. I mean, I'm saying it won't happen. But yeah, he made a tremendous growth spurt. And then he decided that he was going to play basketball at such an early age, at the age of 5. And his folks said that he would start training at 5 o'clock in the morning at age 5. So I watched him as the 8th and 9th grader, and the video was it looked unreal almost. Like he was just big. He was kind of a chubby kid.
Right.
He was chubby, but the kid would get off the ground and mash it. And it almost didn't look real. It looked like maybe they were playing on 9-foot hoops or something, right?
Yeah.
And so I was skeptical at first, right? So then you watch him go through high school and dominate. And he first of all was junior high and dominated. Then he went to high school, took his game to the next level, dominated even more, did more incredible dunks, developed a little bit of a jump shot, but just became more of a dominant figure. You watch what he did moving from high school to the college ranks. And at Duke, he did the exact same thing. In a single season, he set records at Duke, one of the most storied programs in college basketball history. And he came out and became the number 1 overall draft pick. But I just saw his progression as each year went on, as the pressure got a little bit more and said that he can't do this and he can't do that. I expect him to do the same thing in the NBA. I expect him to just keep progressing and getting better. I don't see him as somebody that has hit the ceiling, someone who thinks that he's arrived and won't continue to work to get better. I think he's a guy that's going to go out there and continue to put in work. I think he has something to prove. And one of the reasons why I believe that is you saw him on draft night. Now, I think him and everybody in America that follows basketball knew that he was going to be the number 1 draft pick. Even before his college season, they knew that he was a kid that was going to come out and be the first pick.
Right.
And on that night, when he was picked number 1, he was still so overwhelmed with emotion that he broke down and cried. Like I said, there was no doubt in his mind that he was going to be the first pick. But at that moment, it was still unreal or surreal to him that he had made it. And so I just think he's got the heart and the tenacity to keep going. You think about his size, though, True.
Scary.
This kid is 6'7" right now, 285 pounds. And all that chubbiness that used to be on him, that's gone, man.
Right.
He's a fit guy. You watch him play, and he's running up and down the court.
He's moving. Man. He is a grown man.
He is moving.
Yeah.
And on top of being 6'7", he has a 45-inch vertical, bro. Now, this is what I wanted to ask you. I wanted to get the truth from True since we sitting here, man.
Okay, all right.
I know we haven't done it in a while, but we're gonna do the truth with True here tonight, man. Because I know you were a pretty good athlete in your day, were you not?
I was all right.
Just all right?
Yeah, I was all right.
All right. Well, we're gonna tell some truth about your athletic endeavors tonight on The Truth with True.
I know you heard me on the radio.
True.
Yeah.
Real quick, man. Zion Williamson has a 45-inch vertical. You yourself were a pretty good athlete, not just football, but basketball as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember your vertical jump number?
Yes.
What was it?
39, 40 on a,
What?
I guess if you let me measure, it was 40. I think they took a little bit off. And they gave me 39.
You got that at your pro day? Or?
Yep. I got that at the combine.
Get the hell out of here.
But
that's up there.
Middle True, Isaiah Trufant,
Mm-hmm.
5, 6, 7 and change, 44.
Get the hell out of here.
44. I'm talking about windmills and everything. So actually, Dez probably won't agree, but the best overall athlete out of the Trufant brothers.
Smurf?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You have told me that before, and I think you did tell me you can get up off the ground.
Speed, burst, everything. Yep.
So,
I just didn't get the height. We got Papa Chill's height.
Hey, it happens to the best of us. So, but 39 is not a man. I mean,
but almost 300 pounds is what we talking about.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. So at 39, I know you get in the rim, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, because I think my best might have been 36.
Right.
And I'm in the rim. I can get it with a volleyball because my hand is too small. Right. And if you bounce it on the oop, I can get it. You know what I'm saying? But
I would like to see that. I need to see some video.
I can get above the rim back in the day. Back in the day, but not anymore.
Right.
But to be 6'7" and have that kind of hops, man, it's just amazing, bro.
Yeah, it's scary, and I think that's what some people have not put a knock on Zion, but they say they are fearful that he could hurt himself. They want him to lose a little bit of weight, maybe because of the long season and all this kind of stuff, your knees and your back, et cetera, et cetera. And he's so explosive and so powerful. So if you can take a little bit of weight off them joints, of course, off them ligaments, he may have a little bit longer career, but nobody knows. Those are just the experts, as I do the air quotes with my fingers. They know everything. But I just want people to give Zion a little room and a little time, and I think he's going to grow into one of these players like, Michael Jordan, a LeBron James that's going to go above and beyond basketball and become this thing.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to ask you. You talked about LeBron and you talked about Jordan, and we talked about him and his game right now being so just physical and being so big and powerful. We saw with Jordan as he got older and he became a veteran. His game changed. Mm-hmm. His game had to change. He couldn't play above the rim like he used to, and I think that made him an even better player than he was before. You see, LeBron is he's still active around the boards, but he's not like he was when he first came into the league.
Right.
Can Zion do that? And I think he can. I think if he keeps progressing and understands what his legacy could be and what he wants it to be, that he can change that game. It's not beyond him.
I think he can too, and I think it comes down to I think Zion is an overall package. His basketball is going to carry everything else, but I think that's going to come natural. Just like you said, he knew he was going to be the first pick for months. Mm-hmm. All his friends knew, all his family knew, but he was still overwhelmed with that, just with that emotion. So I think that's just how he is as a young man, as a player. So he's going to work as hard as he can to get things done, and that's going to carry over to, to business, to, nonprofit stuff. As you see, King James right now is doing Space Jam and all this different stuff that he never thought he would do. I think Zion is coming behind it, and he's learning from all these guys. And he's already given shout-outs to all these guys who he wants to take a little bit of everybody's game and just put it together and make him just do what he can do, man, and leave his mark. Yeah, he definitely has a respect for the game, and we'll be looking to see what he does over the course of his career. We also wish him the best, and everybody else that got drafted this past week as well, especially those players that have ties to the Pacific Northwest. We had like 4 guys that had ties to either Washington or the greater Seattle area that got drafted. And so we wish them the best as well. Looking forward to watching them progress in their professional careers. But one of the things that I did notice on draft night, True, is, there was this theme among some of the top draft picks was the family dynamic and the family ties, and in particular, the relationship between some of these players and their fathers. And it kind of has gone against the grain of everything we've been hearing for the last couple of decades. Growing up, we've always seen, these spectacular athletes and these guys that have come up through so much hardship and turmoil and poverty, and the fact that they had an absent father in the family. And to me, it's kind of been a false narrative. Understanding that, thinking that was the norm, that was the way that it is supposed to be, particularly in African American households. And we got an opportunity to see what it looks like when you have a relationship between a young man and a strong father or a father figure. This past week in the NBA draft, you saw R.J. Barrett. He was the second guy or the third guy drafted this year. And we got an opportunity to see how he and his father reacted when they got drafted. But they weren't the only ones. So what did you think about when you saw that and you saw that dynamic taking place right there on the stage in New York City? I thought that was great, T. Just like you said, all the things that we see on TV, even just on the news and even on movies and shows and reality shows even. I watch a show that's called The Chi.
Yeah. Actually, I watched that too.
Yeah, and it's all types of stuff in there about, young black males having a bunch of kids, not really being involved and kind of bouncing from woman to woman. And then it's another story in there that it's a older gentleman that never knew his dad, but his dad lived right across the street and stuff like that. And now this man's about 50 years old, his dad's about to die and all this kind of stuff. It's a bunch of that stuff that goes on, and a lot of it is true. So it's good and refreshing to see the other side of it, because it's not always like that. There are black men that are really involved in their kids' lives, or are family men that are hardworking men, and that's, very refreshing to see. I grew up in a 2-parent household, and I'm very proud of that. And it's hard for me to see anything outside of that. But I know a lot of people go through that and they make it through that and they become great people. They become very successful, and it happens. But it's even hard for me to speak to the other side of that because I'm so far from that. I can't even really comprehend that side of it.
Yeah, and I agree because I came from a 2-parent household as well. I've lived in some areas, though, where, of course, there were a lot of single-parent homes, single mothers that has the head of the home, and my home ended up being the home for everybody.
I got you. I had a lot of that, too, yeah.
So, my dad was the dad for a lot of young men in the neighborhoods as well. So I got an opportunity to see that. But what I have an issue with, and what I was so happy to see in this last draft, trying to downgrade that image that we had before, and the fact that we saw so much strong family ties and father-son ties promoted right there on stage, is that before all we ever got promoted was the single mom raising the family and the father that has abandoned everybody. I think that was a lot of people in the world thought that was a norm, that was a norm for African Americans, that we had no fathers and no one to lead us and no one to guide us and no one to direct us. And I think that the more that you put that out there, in whether it be pop culture, movies, TV, music, whatever it may be, that the more that cycle continues to repeat itself. And I think that if we get more of the images that we saw this past week in the NBA draft, where the fathers and the mothers are present and providing the roadmap for these kids. And again, I'm not to say that single parent households and families led by single mothers can't lead to successful, productive adults.
Absolutely.
Children.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
right.
Because it happens all the time. We've gotten a chance to see that. But I think and like you said, it's refreshing to see the other side of the coin, that, some of these guys are out here, they're providing for their families. They're the role model and the leaders of their families, and they have great relationships with their sons. And it doesn't take someone to come up through poverty or to come up through these hardships and be without a father in order for you to become this great athlete or become a number 1 draft pick or to become a great whatever it may be, that we always see the story. So
right,
that was refreshing to me, True.
It was definitely refreshing, and I guess I'll take it a step further, T. I know as men in general, to show emotion and to be vulnerable, that was also big for me to see. I'm never I guess I've never been one to be too emotional. I don't really know where it comes from or how I got like that. I think I might have learned it through sport. I never wanted to get out of control. I was always taught to be, not too high, not too low and stuff like that.
That's what made you a great DB.
Hey,
because you got to be even keeled.
Hey, but you got to have a short memory.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was just one of those things, but it was very refreshing to see that, and that was good. It was strong emotion, but it was good that they could just be vulnerable like that. And my dad is real emotional. He cried like a baby at my wedding, giving this little speech, and I was, I was having a good time. I was there for the party. I mean, I just wasn't like that. And of course, my wife talks about it all the time. She makes jokes and calls me, I'm a robot and all this kind of foolishness that I got to, in one ear, out the other. But I mean, just like I said, it was very refreshing to see that.
Yeah, it was. And I just want to say shout out to all those draft picks. We're hoping that you have a very long and fruitful career. We're looking forward to following you. And a shout out to all the solid fathers out there, especially the solid black fathers out there. I know we don't give you guys enough credit. Continue to do your thing. Continue to be the leaders of the family. Continue to prove the naysayers wrong. True, something that I picked up off of this last draft, and I don't know if you caught this or not. Zion Williamson, who we just talked about, became the first player in NBA history to be born in the 2000s. Let that sink in, man. He was born in the 2000s. And most of the guys that were picked in the draft were born in the 2000s, man. And it is scary scary, like beyond belief to me, like when I sit down and think about it, just exactly how young those guys are. Because I all the time, and here's the thing, and I know any of our listeners out there that are over 30, you gonna feel me when I start talking about this stuff, and we go into this segment here when we're talking about just how old we really are. Because sometimes I don't necessarily in my mind feel old, man.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying?
You, T. Yeah.
I don't feel old, and then sometimes when I have to start thinking about it, and I think about a young pup, a young dog, a young person, I think about you. I like True's the young dog. He's a young cat, man. Because I can remember, watching young True out there at Wazoo, man, and I remember young True getting drafted, and I was thinking, dang, he's getting drafted already. He's too young. And here we are. You been retired for a number of years.
Yeah,
now.
6-7 years, man.
And so now you feeling like I'm feeling.
Feeling just like you feeling.
So we got
born in the 2000s, T.
2000s, man.
Yeah.
So they did this thing right after the draft. They did this interview where they had a couple of the top draft picks. Kobe White, the guy, I think his name is Rui Hachimura. And they played this game with them called Name the 90s.
I've seen some of this. Yeah.
Now, this is the part where we really start feeling old. Now, they give these guys like a little postcard with pictures on it of something from the 90s. Mm-hmm. And they had to be able to identify whatever it was. Maybe it was an item, a clothing item, a musical group, a video game, whatever it might be. And they had to name it. And these are things that were just common items to me. I feel like I was, dealing with them just yesterday. And so for instance, they had a fanny pack. And they didn't know what a fanny pack was. They had a Super Nintendo. And none of them knew what a Super Nintendo was. So when it really, really hit home for me is they put a picture of this rap group on a postcard, and they could not figure out who it was. True.
What is the group called? Come on, Cole.
Couldn't tell y'all who this is.
I can't even think right now.
My mind blank. Rappers. I'm a 2000.
We should go back.
Big Boy and Andre 2000.
Outcast.
It's first of all, he called him Big Boy and Andre 2000. But it's the Outcasts. Like, how could you not know who the Outcasts are?
Legends.
They are not just legends, like super legends, not just in hip hop, but in pop music and in pop culture. Andre 3000 is a movie star. He's a movement in and of himself. They don't know who Outkast is. Like, they don't know Southern playalistic Cadillac funky music.
Elevators.
They don't know. How could you? So, and to me, again, I remember when I first heard Outkast, I was a sophomore in college. And they were like some young cats that just came on the scene. So to me, they're young. And these guys don't even know who they are.
To me, I guess we turn it into our parents.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what it is.
But
y'all young boys don't know nothing about that.
Sly and the Family Stone.
Y'all don't know nothing about that Outkast, that Andre 3000, 3 Stacks.
Let me tell you, don't know about the Spinners.
Yeah, man, it's just getting crazy. I seen they was playing this game and they had stuff like I think they had a VHS tape or a cassette tape, and they had the Skip It toy and all types of different stuff. But these.
Here's another one, True, that really got me, and this was one that really put the nail in the coffin. They had a postcard that had a picture of this singing group. Okay. Now, this singing group, to me, is really, really young, and I really hate to date myself like this, but they did not recognize this singing group right here.
I know this one, but I don't want to say it because I feel like I'm going to get it wrong.
They look real familiar.
What is it? Soul Sisters? Spicy Girls?
Spicy
Girls is your guess.
You
name one of the members in that group.
No. Ooh. Beyonce sisters. Not Beyonce.
Beyonce sisters.
Cheetah Girls or something. Cheetah Girls or something. Destiny's Child. Destiny's Children. I knew it was something like that.
I don't even know. Destiny's Child. Oh my gosh. What am I?
Destiny's Child.
Children.
Destiny's Children. Cheetah Girls. Spicy Girls.
Who was it?
Destiny's Child.
Oh, okay.
It was for real Beyonce's girls. It was Destiny's Child. Like,
Hey, the first Destiny's Child or the second? You talking about Kelly and
say
Michelle?
say my name, Destiny's
Okay.
Child. But it was the album cover and had Beyonce front and center, but they don't know who that is.
These
That's
boys
how
is
young they are.
young, man. This thing is getting scary, T.
It is too scary.
I'm almost depressed right now.
It made me depressed. I think I've been in depression for like the last week, for real, thinking about it. Because, I mean, again, in my mind, I feel like I was just in high school yesterday, man. Like, it seemed like it just went by.
Me too. I feel like I'm still cool. T, am I not cool? Like,
bro, maybe that's what our parents used to go through. Like, they used to think they was hella cool, man. We used to be like, man, I wish they would not do that.
y'all go sit down somewhere.
Go please
Yeah.
somewhere.
Don't come out the car when you come pick me up. Yeah.
Is that us?
That's us, T.
It can't be, man. I refuse to believe it. I'm still cool. I listen to the little Yachty Vert Snoop. I don't even know who cool is.
Uzis and the
you know who's cool right now is the babies. You gotta have a baby on your name.
the baby.
There's the baby. There's
Lil
baby. There's baby.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's.
It's
fat
a little
baby,
bit. It's a little
ugly
bit
ass
of
little baby.
It's a little bit of everything.
nappy head little baby.
And you know the dances though.
Oh hell no.
And you know what the woe is.
Oh, I've seen it, but
Okay.
I can't do the woe. My kids always try to put me up to do some BS like that.
I always ask because they be trying to act like I don't know how to do nothing. So I get I've been getting a tutorial for the last couple weeks.
So are you hip now?
I'm hip-ish, but I'm not quite there.
Can you do the
Yeah.
woe?
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
I mean, in the comfort of my home,
Uh-huh.
yes, and I got the woe.
I'll
Or in the
t-
car, yeah.
I'll tell you what, True. I don't care what they say. You and I be forever young, man. They can't take this from us, baby. They can't change.
They
what we
was
was.
champions.
They can't change what we was.
Shout out to Bernie Mac.
Yeah, shout out to
Rest
Bernie
in
Mac. Rest
peace.
in peace, man.
Flip.
Hey, Flip. Hey, we want to say thank you for joining us here in the Barbershop once again. We've had an incredible show. Make sure you stay tuned and to what we got going on. True, where can they find us on that social media?
You can find us on Twitter at Barbershop Show _ and you can find us on Instagram at Barbershop Show. Check us out.
I know, but you also got a personal Twitter account that they can holler at you on too as well,
Yes,
right?
sir. Marcus _ Trufant on your Instagram and Marcus Trufant on Twitter.
Oh, okay. Well, I am at Terry Holloman on Twitter, and that's my last. So a lot of people get this wrong too. So it's HOLLIMON. So you can holler at me on there, man, because I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. We got another show on our belts, True.
Hey, man, it's always good to get back in the studio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then until next week, until next time, same place, same time. It's T. Holland, Marcus Trufant, only in the Barbershop.
Yeah.
Know some young like to sweat.